2nd of February, Rabbi Levitt, Daniel.
Okay. So let's see. Where did we get to on Erev Shabbos?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't here. Okay.
We think we were looking into something or other because I don't think we got too far.
I remember we talked about Darius. There were two
Oh
Darius.
yeah, yeah, right, right. That's right. Okay, right, right. Okay, so there were so this is the well, I guess let's just start from the beginning of Perik Bov. That's where we talk about Darius. And we go to Lou to start off the reading.
Above. Um, Vidaria Vesh,
Daryovish.
Yavish, Mada, Kabel, Malchusa, Kivar, Shenin, Shihin, Vitar, Tain. Then Darius the Mede received the kingship at the age of 62 years.
Wow.
So the comment, Daniel in the lion's pit. Then Darius the Mede. This Darius is identified by the sages as Darius the son of Achashverosh, who is described as of the seed of the Medes, who was made king over the kingdom of the Chaldeans. The sages say that his rule endured for only 1 year, after which the reins of monarchy passed to the Persians.
Wow. A short-lived term of office.
So we were wondering about that because it seems like that was quite a few years later. And also what happened to Achashverosh? If this was Darius was the son of Achashverosh, why doesn't it mention Achashverosh?
Right.
And also, I think, didn't we understand that Daniel was killed in the book of Esther? That he was the messenger that went to tell Mordecai what Esther's message was, and that Haman had him followed and killed him?
Sounds familiar, but so therefore, what's that shaykh over here?
Well, if we're going to see that Daniel isn't coming in the time of Achashverosh, and Darius was the son of Achashverosh, it's all not
Oh,
much.
uh, just pointing out another difficulty with the timing.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
confused by the different stories that I've heard about this time period.
Yeah. So this note is really a headache because it yeah it
Discount this note.
I mean at the very least they do refer you to 9:1. So if you want to investigate further to find out who this Daryavish, who's the son of Achashverosh, is, you'll take a look in the beginning of chapter 9.
Right.
And over there, we saw when we looked in chapter 9, over there on page, whatever it is over here, that, the note that should have been over here is over there. That in the second paragraph of these notes, in the first verse of chapter 9, it says that thus we have two kings that are named Darius ben Achashverosh. The first one was Daryavish Hamadah. That's the one that we're talking about right now in our pasuk in the beginning of chapter 6, who reigned for just 1 year. And the second one is Daryavish, the Persian. He's the one who's the son of Achashverosh and Esther, and he's the one that gave the ultimate permission to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. And fine, so just know that is so. In other words, there's a Daryavish who is from Pras, Persian. That's the one in the story of with Achashverosh and Esther. And then there's a Daryavish Hamadah. That's the one who's we're talking about over here.
Right.
Daryavish Hamadah. He's this one. So he's okay. So fine. Okay, now the next note over here.
At the age of 62 years, why are we given his age? To tell us that on the day Nebuchadnezzar
Bottom of 62.
Thank you, entered the temple in the days of Jehoiachin, his adversary Darius was born. The sages inform us that the exile of Jehoiachin Jehoiachin took place in the 8th year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign. We also know that the downfall of Babylonia came 70 years after Nebuchadnezzar's ascension to the throne. If we subtract the 8 years of his rule until he exiled Jehoiachin, the remainder is 62.
Oh, okay.
So that's just an interesting side fact.
Yeah. They don't tell us what's the significance of that. They just tell us that that's what Nebuchadnezzar entered the temple in the days of Jehoiachin. His adversary, the one that was going to conquer him, was Daryavish. He was born.
Right.
So it seems like they were alluding to the fact that when he was at the height of his power, and he exerted his power against Klal Yisrael in destroying the Beis Hamikdash, that's when his demise was set up. It was already in the making. Daryavish was born on that day. Okay, so that was because Daryavish Madai, he's the one who took control after Nebuchadnezzar's grandson Belshazzar was assassinated, and they lost the control. Bavel lost their control, and it went over to Madai. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so now Pasik base. We go to Mayor. I think I saw Alan come in.
Yeah, but his screen isn't turned on. Just his.
Alan, we can't see you and you're muted.
Unless he stepped away from the computer.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, so we'll keep an eye for him. But he's in. He doesn't have to come in. He can get in himself.
Right. He's been accepted or whatever. Okay, so Pasuk Bet says Shifar Kadam Daryavesh Hakim al Mahuta La'achash Dar Penaya Me'at Me'a Ve'esrim Di Lehevon B'chol Mahuta. Okay, so it pleased Darius to appoint over the kingdom 122 satraps to be throughout the kingdom. I guess a satrap is like a state or of the.
No, it's like a governor.
Oh,
It's a person.
oh, it's a person.
That's a lot of wow. Well, how many? America has 50 states. Okay, so this is
Right.
120.
Well,
That's a lot.
conquered a lot of the world, I guess, at that time. Okay, anyway, let's see what their comments say. It says, V'hakim al Mahuta, to appoint over the kingdom. Because he was already advanced in age, he felt he needed assistance in order to rule his huge empire. That makes sense. La'achash dar Panaya me'av esrim, 120 satraps. These were to rule over the 120 states in his empire. The Talmud in Megillah proves from this verse that Ahasuerus's empire was larger because it contained 127 states, according to the book of Esther.
Right? Everybody knows that. Sheva ve'es v'mameya.
Right.
All right. So, okay. So that's what's going on over here. And we go to Pasuk Gimel. And since Alan is checked out, so we'll go back to Lou.
Ve'ela min hon sarchin tilasa di Daniel chad min hon di lehevon achash dar penaya Elaine Yahavin Lehon Tama Umalka La Leheve Nazik. Over them 3 visors. of whom Daniel was one, to whom these satraps would give advice, so that the king should suffer no harm.
Hmm. Okay. It sounds like the main thing that these guys were supposed to do is just to make sure that the king suffers no harm and he doesn't get assassinated or overthrown or something like that. What about the governing or serving the people that live in these places? That's they're on their own for that.
Maybe another way to read it would be that since Daniel was an unknown quantity, and he was all of a sudden he was elevated to be in charge, maybe the king was worried that Daniel might mess up, and that would be harming the king because it would mess up his kingdom. So these guys were there to make sure Daniel didn't mess up and do something to harm the kingdom.
Okay. Let's see.
The comment says visors. Reb Sadia Radak and Reb Shmuel Maznuth point out that sarchin is the Aramaic equivalent of the Hebrew shoter. However, shoter in its traditional meaning is an officer, more specifically a police officer, a meaning that does not fit our context. Perhaps this is why Mitsudos simply renders sarchin a type of ruler. This also seems to be the view of Ibn Ezra. The translation visor is used by Reb Sadia Gaon in his tafsir, and it seems to fit the context. To whom these satraps would give advice. The 120 satraps would advise these visors so that they would be fully aware of all developments in the huge empire. With all these advisors, the king would suffer no damage.
Yeah. So the point is that it sounds to me like what they're saying is that all these satraps would be advising on any developments that would be in the brew about doing something that might be to the detriment of the king. So as long as he got all these advisors, so then the king won't suffer any damage from these 120 places that he's supposed to be in control of.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay, so he's delegating his authority. So sounds like everything is all set up. So what happened? Now we got to go to Pasuk Daled. Back to Mayor.
Okay, Daled. Hold on, I'm a little confused here. I guess it begins at Dayan.
Looks like
Daniel. They made a mistake where the Dalet is.
They made a mistake with the Dalet. The Dalet should be on the line below.
Right. Dayan Daniel dina hava mitnatzach al sarkaya ve'achash dar panaya kol kavel di ruach yatira be umalka Hasit l'chakamute al kol machuta. Okay, then Daniel oversaw the visors and satraps because of the extraordinary spirit in him, and the king thought to appoint him over the whole kingdom. Okay.
So, okay.
Good morning.
Any
Good
note?
morning, Alan.
I'm back from the doctor.
Morning, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wrapped up part of my legs with some sores, and they said just uh, keep up, and when you sit down, move your legs back and forth, and so I'm okay now, and I'm here. I'm just gonna listen today. Okay.
Very well. Okay, we're glad you're here.
Okay.
See you.
Of course, I'm not going today.
Okay. Shava Refuah Shlema, Alan.
Yeah. Thank you.
Feel good.
Okay.
Mazak ve'ematz.
So what page are we on now?
We're on page 62.
Oh, okay.
62 in the Aramaic, 63 in the English.
Right.
And we're in
Okay,
Pasuk.
got it.
We just read Pasuk Dalid, verse 4, and we see that there's no comments on verse 4, Pasuk Dalid. Just looking for Rashi. Rashi actually has a comment over here.
Oh.
Daniel Dino. That itself is what do you have to say Daniel Dino for? Just say Daniel. Rashi says Daniel Dino means Daniel Zeh, this Daniel. Maybe it says that because before we had Daryavish and we got all mixed up with Daryavish, so maybe we might think that we got another Daniel also. But anyway, so it says this Daniel, the one that we've always been talking about, Daniel. He was the one who misnatzach on the Sarchaya and the Hashtapanaya, and then he almost the Melech wanted to make him over the whole kingdom. Says Rashi, Malcha Asisa, Amelech Haya Choshev Belubo. He thought in his heart, Lahakimoi al Kulam, to be the one who would be established on all of them. So the king seems to trust him very much, and he saw his capabilities as well, and he thought to give him authority over the entire kingdom. And so this, let's see what happens now. That the king is thought to make Daniel his Mishnah Lamelech, just like Paro did with Yosef. And we go to Pasuk Hey, which it looks like to be the last two words of that line, where it says Hey.
Edayin Sar Chaya De'achash Dar Penaya Havo Va'ayin Ila Lahash Kacha Le Daniel Mitzad Malchusa V'chol Ila Ushechitsa La Yachlin Lehash Kacha Kol Kavel Di Mehe Man Hu V'chol Shalu Ushechitsa La Hish Techachach Hish Techachas Alohi. Okay, so that is 5. Thereupon the viziers and the satraps tried to find a libel against Daniel with regard to the kingdom, but they could find neither fault nor corruption, because he was faithful, and nor could error or corruption be found in him. Let's see, the word libel. The translation follows Rashi, Radak, and Rab Sadia, who relate the word to alilah, libelous slander. I don't know what libelous slander means. Libel, my understanding, libel is if you say something bad about somebody in writing, and slander is if you say something bad about them verbally. So I'm not sure what they mean by libelous slander, but it's probably Lashon Hara anyway.
Yeah, they're trying to
What's
discredit him
hold on a second.
Right.
any way they could.
Deuteronomy 22:14.
Yeah, I don't know why the art scroll says that. It just says Elah.
Right.
So that they translate it's like the word Elila. Why do they translate the word Elila as libelous slander? I don't know.
Anyway,
The slander that's not libelous.
right. Well, all slander is not libelous. We're mutually exclusive, is what I'm saying. You either do it verbally or you do it in writing. I suppose you could do it both. You could put it in writing and then also spread the word by mouth. Maybe that's what it means. I don't know. Anyway, with regard to the kingdom, they wanted to find a flaw in Daniel's conduct of the government, such as acceptance of bribes or misappropriation of public funds. Yet no matter how hard they searched, they could find nothing of this sort because he was faithful. But they could find neither fault nor corruption. Then they proceeded to search for any evidence of misconduct or crime in Daniel's private life, but nor could error or corruption be found in him.
Okay. So those are the two main ways to discredit somebody. First, they tried to find something that had to do with the government, something having to do with money. They couldn't find anything over there. So then they turned to his private life. Maybe they could find something over there. Nothing, can't find anything. So then the pasuk said, but they had an idea still. Oh, we have an idea. We could find fault in him through the law of his God. So that's where this whole story with the lion's den is going to come in. So we go right now to pasuk Zion.
I don't think we read Vav. I read A.
Oh yes, okay, sorry, mistake. We're going to Vav now. Mayor.
Okay, Vav says, Adayin guvraya ileh amrin di la de hashkach LeDaniel did not call Elah lahain hashkachna Alohi bidat Elahe. Okay, so that's Vav. Then these men said, we will not find any fault with this Daniel, but we will find in him through the law of his God. But we'll find it in him. I'm sorry. Oh. They're going to look into the Torah? Maybe. Well, let's see what it says here. But we will find it in him through the law of his God. We will ask the king to promulgate a decree that will interfere fear with Daniel's religion. Since his loyalty to his religion will surely keep him from obeying the king's decree, we will succeed in causing his downfall and death. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was a very powerful statement.
Yes.
So that comes from Rashi. Right. Right. They translated Rashi. Yeah, that's what Rashi says. Okay. Good. Pasuk Zion. Back to Lou.
Okay, Zion. Ed Dayan Sar Chaya V'acha Shidar Penaya Elaine Har Gishu Al Malka V'chein Amrin Le Dar Yavesh Malka Le Al Min Chehi. Thereupon these visors and satraps assembled about the king and said thus to him, May King Darius live forever. These visors and satraps, they came together in a crowd so as not to make Daniel's absence conspicuous. The presence of such a crowd of petitioners would influence the king to sign the decree immediately without seeking counsel. Had the king thought things over, he would have no doubt consulted Daniel, and the plot would have been uncovered. Assembled, Sadia ibn Ezra, Radak, and Matzidos rendered it assembled from Goyim, from Lama Ragshu Goyim. Rashi to Psalms seems to concur. The translation follows this consensus.
Argishu means assembled. Okay. So, interesting. They came together in a crowd so as not to make Daniel's absence conspicuous. So, in other words, the king would assume that Daniel was there. So many people, certainly Daniel is among them. He's the most esteemed of all of the advisors. If all advisors is there, certainly Daniel is there. Okay, so he's not going to smell out anything over there on that account. So that was their idea. And as long as he doesn't ask for advice and he signs it right away, so then they got what they want. Okay. So that's Pasuk Zion. And they always say, we've seen it before, may the king live forever. Okay. That's their first statement to the king. We're supporters of the king, and we want the king to live forever. We want his reign to live forever. That's why it's that's our main goal. This is who we are. So if that's what we want to do, then the king's ears are wide open. What do these people have to say? And we go to
I think we're out of time.
I who it is already. Sorry.
Yeah. We'll have to pick it up tomorrow at verse 8.
Oh, we forgot that it's already time. Okay. Pasuk Ches for tomorrow.
Excellent.
Hotel to Mayor.
Okay.
Have a
Have a
good day.
good week, everyone, and a good
Amen.
day. Yes.
Mayor.
Okay. Okay. Be well, Lou. Take care, Alan.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Be well.